Welcome to the introduction to paper weaving. The first step is to create a loom in which you're going to weave. So I'm taking a piece of paper and folding it in half. You can use any papers. You could use construction paper, you can use painted paper. I'm using a combination of both. And you're going to measure along the folded side about every 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Younger kids should do it probably about 1 inch. Older kids, a 1/2 inch is probably pretty good. And this is going to be the marks that you cut along in the next step. Next, cut along each of those marks that you made, trying to keep your cuts very nice, even, and straight. Next, you're going to take another piece of paper and cut strips from that paper about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch apart, depending on how large you want your weaving. Once you have made your marks, you cut along those. I'm using a paper cutter to make it faster, and in my classroom, I typically already have strips of construction paper already pre-cut for you. Now that you have your strips in your loom, you're going to start the weaving process. It's very simply going over, under, but including your over in the very first strip at the edge of the paper. And then you continue alternating every other one. Be sure you don't skip any and go carefully along. The process gets a little harder as you go because those areas get tighter and tighter. Once you have it all the way through, push it all the way up at the top. Now this is where it counts if you made your loom and kept those cut marks stopped at the top and very even. Then you're ready for your second strip. Your second strip is also going to go under, over, but opposite that you did the first time. So my first strip was over. My next strip is going to start under and then go over, then under, and then over again. So you'll see as I build it, it builds a checkerboard pattern. Continue this all the way across, and once you're to the end, again, push it so it is right up against the first piece of paper that you wove. Now, my third piece of paper is going to follow the same pattern that my first piece of paper did. So if I started over the edge, I'm going to start over the edge again, and it's going to mirror exactly what I did in that very first strip across, going over, under. Again, make sure that you don't skip any of those sections as you go across. And push it up so that they're all right against each other. Now that you have the pattern down, you just keep going back and forth until you complete your entire weaving. Now, while that checkerboard pattern is beautiful in and of itself, if there's time, you can weave in the other direction. So now I've cut even smaller strips of paper that will fit underneath that painted paper as I weave. And these were just colors I pulled from my painting. So while I'm going down, I'm just going to go under each of my painted pieces, but it'll be over the black sections. So, and then I will just continue weaving those throughout. You can create this pattern of weaving how you wish. You can do it in every single line, or you could do every other opposite one. I chose to do every other one just to break up a little bit of that black and to really draw your attention to the blue color. You can also go back across and weave in between what you did before or make patterns. The more advanced you get with weaving, the more you can do with it.